Excellent. I think we're ready to get started. Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Clark, and you are joining the RiverWoods Exeter 101 presentation. This is a presentation that we host each month for folks who are interested in learning more about RiverWoods Exeter. We will be presenting for about 40 minutes or so, and then we'll open it up to questions that may not have been answered during the course of the presentation. My name is Lisa Clark. I'm sales manager here at RiverWoods Exeter, and I'm joined by Chrissy Cady, who's our sales counselor. Between the two of us, it's our role to really help you get educated on RiverWoods Exeter and make a decision as to whether this might be someplace that you want to call home someday. So Chrissy and I have each been assigned to those of you who are on the call today. You can expect a follow-up from us if we haven't already reached out to you, which I know some of you may have received emails from us already. A few housekeeping items. Everybody is on mute, but there will be an opportunity for questions at the end. And you can submit your questions through the Q&A box, which is at the bottom of your screen. We suggest that you hold off on your questions until we get to the end because we're going to be sharing a lot of information. We anticipate what your questions may be, so we try to build that information into the presentation. Your suggestions are always welcome on how we can improve these presentations. And if you have any ideas for a future topic that you think would be interesting, that we would welcome those suggestions. So we always like to start with a little bit about our founding of RiverWoods. These two lovely ladies here are the two visionary women who started RiverWoods long ago. They began planning around their kitchen tables back in the 80s. And these two women are Mariana Hatch, who lived in Durham, and Rosemary Coffin in Exeter. They began planning in the early 1980s with the goal of building a community where they could meet new friends, get involved in causes that they cared about, but also have the peace of mind that their future healthcare needs would be cared for. So they created RiverWoods Exeter, which opened in 1994. And today, more than 35 years after their first meeting, Mariana's dream was realized with the opening of RiverWoods Durham in November 2019. So what began as the dream of a small group of New Hampshire residents who wanted to create a better way to improve the experience of aging for others has now evolved into three different communities in New Hampshire. The original one in Exeter, RiverWoods Manchester, which we acquired from another company in 2016, and then RiverWoods Durham, which we opened in 2019. All three of these communities are not-for-profit with the same mission, which is to improve the experience of aging. We all share the same values, and we are advised by a volunteer board of directors that's focused on operations. So a little bit about our governance structure. The RiverWoods Group is our supportive organization. It provides professional fee-based services such as human resources, marketing, IT, finance, and quality. And they will fund any at-risk projects within the communities and any new ventures. But each of the three RiverWoods communities are financially independent of one another. They can sometimes provide additional funding to the RiverWoods Group based on their available assets. And the RiverWoods Group is advised by a volunteer board of directors who are focused on mission and growth. We do have a CEO of the company. We call that a system. The three communities together are called a system, and that is a woman by the name of Justine Vogel. So let's drill down and talk a little bit more about RiverWoods Exeter. RiverWoods Exeter has three campuses. The first one opened in 1994. It's known as the Woods, and we have 201 apartments at that campus. The second campus we opened in 2004 is called the Ridge. That's where Chrissy and I sit. And the Ridge has 81 apartments and 11 cottages. And then 6 years after that, we opened the Boulders, which has 75 apartments and 24 cottages. All three of these campuses are located on 200 acres of land here in Exeter. Each campus will have all the amenities you will need. It'll have a dining room, fitness studios, art studios, libraries, and community gathering spaces. But residents are welcome to flow freely across the three campuses and use any amenity at any campus. It's important to note when you're looking at retirement communities, whether they carry an accreditation. We are actually accredited by an organization known as CARF International. And CARF stands for the Commission for the Accreditation of Rehabilitation Facilities. Now, we fall into that category because we provide the full spectrum of healthcare here, including a skilled rehabilitation center. So CARF is a nonprofit accreditor of health and human services worldwide, but only about 10% of continuing care retirement communities are actually accredited. RiverWoods Exeter was among the earliest to receive accreditation in 1999. And in 2024, we were reaccredited for another 5 additional years. If you're interested in knowing more about CARF, we've put their website here. It's www.carf.org. So if you're exploring other communities, you can go to the CARF website and see if the communities that you're looking at might also be accredited. So we want to talk about just the fundamentals of actually what you are buying when you come to Riverwoods. We are what's called a life care community, and when you come here, you're purchasing actually a long-term care insurance product. Because we are providing you with the full spectrum of healthcare here in addition to independent living. RiverWoods Exeter provides you with long-term care insurance. The financial model is that you pay an entry fee when you move in, and that is 90% refundable back to your estate upon either moving out or upon your passing. So in that regard, it serves as a form of estate preservation so that you are ensuring that you have a portion of your assets that will go back to your estate or to your heirs upon your passing. In addition to the entry fee, you will pay monthly fees to live here. And we are what's called a Type A contract. And with a Type A contract, your monthly fees are consistent regardless of what level of care you're receiving here. So whether you're living in independent living or you're in assisted living or nursing care, you pay the same monthly fee regardless of what level of care you're receiving. Now, we do have annual increases to our fees, but it helps protect you from any unexpected events, or just as you age and you need higher levels of care, you can continue to pay the same fee as you would have if you were living in independent living. We are resourced to provide, as I mentioned earlier, a broad spectrum of care here. So we're resourced to provide support not only for your care when you're living independently, but also as your needs increase. Within independent living, we have what we call wellness clinics. You can think of it as an urgent care clinic. It's staffed by a nurse practitioner as well as an RN. Each of our three campuses has a wellness clinic. They're staffed Monday through Friday. They have walk-in hours in the morning, and then in the afternoon, they do hours by appointment. They can help with blood pressure checks, wound care, flu vaccines. You can get lab work done there. They can provide referrals to specialists as well as medication management. But part of the really important role that they provide is guidance to you when it may be required for you to transition to a higher level of care. They will help you coordinate those conversations with your physician and your family and with our social services team. It's really excellent way to keep you healthy while you're living in independent living. Should you need a higher level of care, we do have assisted living apartments here for singles as well as couples. They are just like a smaller version of an apartment with a kitchenette, a living room, one or two bedrooms, and a bath. Should your needs increase beyond that, we have what's called enhanced assisted living. Some people might call this long-term care. Some people call it nursing care. There's a variety of different terms that people use. We call it enhanced assisted living, and this level of care provides round-the-clock nursing for long-term memory support and nursing care. And these are in private suites. With both assisted living and enhanced assisted living, of course, we're providing 3 meals a day. So there is a slight additional monthly fee for those extra meals that you would receive at those levels of care. We also can provide respite care to you. So this would be just a temporary stay. You're living independently, but something happens and you need a little bit more support and short-term health care. You can move over into the healthcare suite for a temporary stay while we help you get better. And so you can recover and return to your independent living apartment or cottage. So what all this provides is really peace of mind to you as well as your family, because all these levels of care are provided under one umbrella. And it's one organization that it will really be accountable for your care journey through end of life. Our healthcare leadership, we do have a medical director. His name is Brian Trazak. And Brian is actually contracted with us through a company called Vantage Healthcare. And Vantage Healthcare provides medical oversight to a number of retirement facilities and nursing homes. And Brian collaborates closely with our wellness clinics, our directors of nursing, and our quality department. So beyond that, we like to always let people know what kind of hospitals and specialists there are in the area. So we have 3 hospitals, all located within a 25 or 30-minute drive. Right down the road from us is Exeter Hospital. That's where usually our emergency services go. But we also have people doing joint replacements and other surgeries at Exeter Hospital. Just up the road in Portsmouth, about a 25-minute drive, is Portsmouth Regional Hospital. They are known for their cardiac care as their specialty. And then Wentworth Douglas Hospital, which is based in Dover, New Hampshire, about a 30-minute drive, is an excellent hospital affiliated with Massachusetts General's network. I should note, going back to Exeter Hospital right here in town, they are affiliated with Beth Israel Lahey Clinic, so they can connect you to a lot of excellent physicians and services within their network. Beyond that, we're within an hour to the Boston hospitals. So if you do have some sort of real specialty need, then that's where you would get those services. So all this adds up to really being a smart financial decision. Your monthly fee remains the same regardless of the level of care that you're receiving. And you do have an additional charge for 2 additional meals per day, because your monthly fee when you're in independent living will include 1 meal a day, or points, the equivalent of dining points for 1 meal a day. And of course, there may be additional fees for out-of-pocket expenses. We're going through a bit of an evolution right now at RiverWoods Exeter. If you're in the local media market, no doubt you've heard about this. And I want to just walk you through what we're doing today and what the plan is for the future. So, our original concept when we built our three campuses was that each one would have what's called a healthcare lodge, so a section of the building that had assisted living apartments and long-term care or nursing care and memory support. So that's how we're structured today. The Woods, the Ridge, and the Boulders each have a lodge. So as residents move out of independent living, they would stay within the same building, but move into a different apartment or a different suite. And today we also provide short-term rehab at one campus. So at our Ridge campus, we have skilled nursing, short-term rehab beds so that if you're coming out of the hospital, you've had a couple nights stay there, you're able to do your rehabilitation there. Some of the challenges of this, though, are that it's been very challenging to staff three small healthcare centers when we are required to have certain nursing ratios and 24/7 coverage in a very competitive labor market for nurses. We also have some pretty limited amenities. So within these three healthcare lodges, there's only about 30 residents in each of them. So they don't have, things like a hair salon and a library and other what we would call amenities that we think they should have access to. And then thirdly, some of our buildings are getting dated, and it's really limiting what we can do in terms of updating the technology that's used in most all healthcare settings today. So we have made a decision that to continue to provide the excellent quality of healthcare that we have in the past, that we need to centralize these three small healthcare centers into one new healthcare lodge. So we have a plan underway to centralize the three lodges into a single hub with the goal of really streamlining clinical operations, improving the care coordination, and enhancing the resident access to certain services. So we're going through the approval process right now. The new building will be on our land here between our three campuses. It will have state-of-the-art technology in it. It will have nice access to the outdoors and nature. And it'll have dedicated amenities such as a fitness room, art spaces, hair salon, and things like that. So we're excited about it and think it'll be a great improvement to our community here. When we do that, we do have plans to build more apartments here in the spaces that were formerly occupied by our three healthcare lodges, but we're probably 5 or 6 years out from that becoming a reality. I'd like to talk more now about the monthly service fee and what that actually includes. We have a very flexible dining program, which I'll talk more about in a moment. Each campus has fitness centers and indoor pools, so you will have access to that included in your monthly fees, access to fitness classes. And then we offer a variety of entertainment and cultural opportunities here, both on campus and off campus. Chrissy's going to talk a little bit more about that later in the presentation. We have an excellent transportation team. So we have a number of drivers and vehicles of all shapes and sizes that will get you to medical appointments, to the grocery store, the bank, to special events, to the bus station, the train station. So we make sure that if you're not driving anymore, or even if you are driving but don't want to drive, especially in the winter, we have a team that can get you where you need to go. We provide housekeeping services. We clean your apartment every 2 weeks or your cottage every 2 weeks. And we also provide weekly flat linen service. So we're laundering your sheets and your towels, your bed sheets and your towels on a weekly basis. We take care of all of the home maintenance. So whether it's inside your apartment or outside of your cottage, if something breaks, falls apart, we have a team here who will come and repair that. Your monthly service fee includes most all of your utilities. It'll include your electricity, your heating, your air conditioning, your lights. It will include um, most of everything that you would normally pay for separately. There is a small fee for services, telecommunication services such as cable TV, internet access, and local phone. Your monthly fee also covers your access to the wellness clinic. So if you need to drop in there and be seen by the nurse practitioner or an RN, your fee covers that. And then lastly, we have a 24-hour security team here. So all of our apartments and our cottages are equipped with security features and emergency response systems. So if something happens, you can be sure that somebody will be there within a matter of minutes to attend to you. So I'd like to step in and talk about dining a little bit more because that's such an important part of the socialization process here or experience here, not to mention just your overall nutrition. So the way our dining program works is your monthly fee that you pay will include a bank of dining points, a pool of dining points. And those dining points can be used either for meals in the dining room or on a takeout basis. It'll cover guest meals. If you want a catering platter of sorts, it'll cover that. And then we also have what we call the marketplace, which are perishable grocery items, and you can use your dining points there. So every food item has an a la carte value to it. You get the equivalent of 18 points a day. And for example, a dinner entree is usually worth anywhere between 7 and 9 points on average. So it allows you to really pick and choose and eat what you prefer to eat and only be charged points for what you prefer to eat. You can dine here at any of the three campuses. If you need a change of scenery and you want to go to a different campus or meet up with friends at a different campus, you're able to do that and use your dining points at any of the three. We work hard to be sensitive to residents' dietary preferences and restrictions. So, we're finding that people are becoming more aware of foods that do and don't work with their personal, biology. So we make sure that we're noting on our menus things that are gluten friendly, foods that are dairy free, foods that are vegetarian. So we strive to really provide a good variety of foods and choices for our residents. And then we also source as much as we can locally from the New Hampshire farmers and the broader seacoast area. So we're lucky that we have good sources of meats as well as fish and produce and dairy. So we do source as much as we can from the local farmers. This is a picture of one of our dining rooms at the Boulders campus. It will soon take on a new look, however, because we're in the process of updating the interiors of our Boulders campus. So it'll still retain the nice structure of this with the high ceiling and the beautiful fireplace, but you'll see it will take on, if you come and visit us, sometime after next fall. It'll have a little bit different look in terms of furnishings and colors. This is a picture of our Ridge Bistro. So the Ridge has both a bistro for casual dining as well as a more formal dining room in the back. And then this is a picture of our country store, which is at the Woods campus. And it is stocked with pantry items. This store, each campus has a store. The one at the Woods has the largest inventory because it has the most residents. But the country stores are really designed to provide a convenience to our residents for things that they may not want to run out to the grocery to pick up. Everything we purchase here comes from Market Basket. It's not marked up, so it's very affordable. And the country stores are managed by our residents. So each campus has a resident committee that does the purchasing and the stocking and the staffing of these stores, and it provides a great convenience to our residents. We're going to transition now to Chrissy, who will fill you in a little bit more about really what life is like here, what there is to do for fun, as well as she'll take you through some of the apartment interiors and show you some pictures of that. So I'll turn it over to you, Chrissy.
Lisa, and thank you all for being here on such a beautiful sunny day since we've had so much snow and cold weather. I'm sure you'd rather be outside today, so thanks for joining us. I'm going to start by showing you one of our community spaces called Boulders Hall. It's our largest gathering space, and it does seat up to 200 people theater style. But we do have gathering areas at each campus. So this is at Boulders. We have our Ridge room at the Ridge campus and our Great Bay room at the Woods campus. And we can hold anything from lectures, performances, large resident parties, concerts, lectures, and any kind of community update for your residents who live there. You can choose from a wide array of events that are listed on your biweekly calendar. And you can choose whether you go to the Woods for a lecture at 3 or a concert at the Boulders at 7. You can pick and choose wherever you'd like to go throughout the day. All of our campuses have a large space to accommodate all these gatherings. Recent events we've had, we sometimes will host political candidates during the primary season, which is really fun, and host authors such as Dan Brown, one of our local authors. Talking about the events that we do here, the education committee here has an important role. Their mission is it's an all-campus committee, so all 3 campuses here, and they provide enrichment opportunities to all of our residents here through educational programs and lectures, courses, and they all encompass a variety of interests. We use both inside speakers, so our residents themselves, and outside speakers. The committee is resident run, and they meet regularly to discuss opportunities for different lectures, different outside trips and courses, and also review the committee duties and work in collaboration with our community life team, who will help promote the events and also schedule the events on campus.
Hey, Chrissy, we have a comment that somebody's having a hard time hearing you. I don't know if you're able to speak up at all.
Oh, sure, I'll try. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold, so it might not be loud. My voice might be not as loud as it usually is, but I will try to speak up.
Thank you.
My apologies. So just to give you an example of a few of the events that occur here, we have both, as I mentioned, internal and external events. So the Peter, Paul, and Mary presentation is presented by a man by the name of Frank King, and he has quite a few presentations that he does here, and it's very popular for our residents here. So anything that he presents is a popular event here. This one in particular just happened in October. The external events that we provide, and usually that includes transportation through our campus service vehicles, and does incur costs for transportation and tickets. But we do go into Boston for certain events. This one in particular was at the Boston Ballet, and we do a lot of different outside events just like that. And then after that, we have lectures that are interesting for our residents. One called Beyond the Bin, talking about it's a resident-led commitment focused on sustainability here. That's a big important feature of our residents here. And then the other great decisions, in partnership with the Foreign Policy Association, this was an eight-part educational course, and it focuses on contemporary foreign and domestic policy issues. So our residents really like to stay informed about kind of our everything beyond our walls. We also have libraries at all three of our campuses. So again, you don't have to leave your campus. You can stay at the Ridge and go to this beautiful Ridge Library. But if you feel like going somewhere else, you have that ability, especially with our campus services vehicles that will take you door to door on demand. But this is a picture of our Ridge Library, which was just renovated about 2 or 3 years ago. And we do have a card catalog that is interconnected with each other. So if you can't find a book at the Ridge campus, you can usually find it at the Woods or the Boulders. And our campus service shuttle will either take it to you or you can go over yourself and enjoy the library over there. And I should mention that as a resident of Exeter, we also have a wonderful Exeter Town Library right in downtown Exeter. And oftentimes our one of the librarians will actually come here and give some talks and bring books that you can check out as well. So you can take advantage of the Exeter Library here as well. Moving on, though, I know a lot of you out there are probably wondering what kinds of activities we have to keep you staying active. So each one of our campuses has an indoor pool and hot tub. They all have fully equipped fitness rooms and a variety of fitness classes. The really popular classes, we will have one at each campus. And then, so you don't even have to leave your campus to go to like a strength and balance class. But then we have some specialized classes like ballroom dancing, which is only at the Ridge, and you can feel free to go over to the Ridge for those classes. We have wonderfully trained instructors. You can participate in our walking group, a cycling group. We have hiking groups, and then we also have over 5 miles of hiking and snowshoe trails throughout our three campuses. You're looking here at a picture of our Boulders pool, and this is this is the largest pool we have here. It's wonderful for swimming laps, but we also host our fitness aerobics classes, our water aerobics classes here as well. Oftentimes our residents love to work out in the pool and then finish it off in the hot tub. So that's a favorite pastime as well. But we do have three pools, so one at each campus. And then moving on to one of our fitness centers, each one is fully equipped. So if you like to just work out on your own and make your own program, that is available to you as well. So you have no excuse to get 30 minutes of cardio in each day. And of course, we have our happy pickleball players. There might be some of you out there who have gotten into this pickleball craze. We have 2 pickleball courts here, as well as many pickleball players who really enjoy getting together to play and not only play together with people who've played for quite some time, but also welcoming new players in to get them equally excited about pickleball. And then if you've finished your workout in the morning and you decide you'd like to be creative, we have many and multiple studios in all three campuses. We have a pottery studio at the Ridge, music room at the Woods, multiple art studios throughout the three campuses, as well as a wood shop. So there are endless opportunities. You're looking at a picture of one of the gentlemen who moved in. He had been an artist as a young man. Life got in the way. He was very busy, stopped painting, even though he loved to do it. And as soon as he moved in here, he got so inspired by some of our artists here, he decided to start picking up his craft again. And now you will see him every morning in the Woods Pinkham Art Studio working on his craft right by the window with natural light coming in. And this is the art studio right here. So you can see that beautiful French door that's letting in all that natural light. You can also see at the Pinkham Art Studio, this is where they will teach you how to make Nantucket baskets, which is also another popular thing for new residents to learn how to do. And then, as I mentioned, we have a wood shop. We have two wood shops, one at our Woods campus and one at our Ridge campus. And some active woodworkers here who make anything from signs for our trails, benches for the trails. Jerry here makes kayaking or canoe paddles. And there are many residents who also make beautiful pieces of furniture, turn bowls. There's a lot of opportunities if you're a woodworker. All the equipment in there is available to everybody, and it's state of the art. And of course, we love our musicians as well because we get the benefit of hearing them during special events here. But we have anything from a woman's barbershop quartet to a string group, ukulele players. We have a recorder group that started learning how to play recorder and now play intricate pieces. And then we have a RiverWoods chorus. So if there are any men out there who like to sing, we are looking for your voice. But we have so many different opportunities to be creative in music, and we love to hear it during the special events that we host here. And then, of course, I'm sure there are some gardeners out there who are getting ready because I know there's a lot of snow on the ground, but spring is coming. And if you're worried that you won't have the opportunity to garden here, have no fear. We have multiple raised garden beds throughout our campuses that you can reserve in the spring and grow vegetables and flowers. We have a wonderful and very active gardening committee who actually works in tandem with our landscaping teams, often to create beautiful gardens in our entryways, and work alongside the landscapers to explore or to practice organic landscaping techniques as well. You may already know that we are New Hampshire's largest arboretum here with over 300 species of trees and shrubs throughout our three campuses. So it's a beautiful place to explore and garden while you're here. Now we're going to move on to looking at some of the spaces that we have here. You're looking right now at one of the pictures of our cottages over at the Boulders campus. And the apartments and cottages feature a bunch of nice amenities, fully equipped kitchens, individually controlled HVAC, all Wi-Fi enabled. One of the most important features of our apartments are this beautiful solarium areas that let in a lot of light into our living rooms and throughout the whole apartment. The apartments also come with storage areas, 24-hour response team, and safety systems. If you do have visitors coming, we have guest rooms at all three campuses that you can reserve. And you would always get one or two outdoor parking spaces with your apartments if you bring in two cars. There is parking available undercover at an additional fee, and then all of our cottages come with two-car garages. Moving on, you are looking at a beautiful large one-bedroom apartment at our Woods campus. This is called a Trillium. And you can note in the background there the solarium that is letting out all that nice natural light. You can use that as a separate room, sitting area, office, art studio, but it lets in a lot of beautiful light into the living room. And you can see some of the features that are standard features here, the luxury vinyl plank on the floor and the beautiful neutral color paint on the walls. And then moving on to the next view, you're looking at the kitchen in the same apartment. If we are replacing cabinets, we would be replacing them with these white shaker style cabinets, and you would have choice of quartz or granite on your countertops and also stainless steel appliances. And we are opening up our kitchens to look, so that you can look right out onto your living room, which really opens up your apartment. And this one here, this apartment is a large two-bedroom over at our Ridge campus called the Magnolia. And again, you're looking at that beautiful solarium and beautiful open space in the living room that you can see from the kitchen area. This picture I love. This is a two-bedroom over at the Boulders called the Cypress. And it really showcases what you can do to your apartment. You're bringing in your home into this apartment and making it your own. So You may choose all the beautiful neutral colors that we provide for standard features and amenities, and then you bring in your own furniture and artwork to really make create the space to make it your own. Now, this is a kitchen at one of our cottages, our spruce cottage. So you can see if you're a cook, you still enjoy cooking, you've got plenty of space, plenty of counter space, plenty of storage space, really to use and cook as much as you like. And again, quartz and granite countertops and all those natural standard appliances that you can see. So I'm sure when you move into our community, you're not just looking at Riverwoods, you're looking at the outside community. So you know we're near about a couple miles down the road from downtown Exeter. We're on to 100 acres of land near the Exeter River. You have easy access to Portsmouth and Manchester, about half an hour each way, an hour from Portland, an hour from Boston. We have the train that goes right into downtown Exeter that takes you up to Maine and down to Boston. And then we have all that wonderful proximity to our mountains and our lakes region, as well as our seacoast. It's a beautiful area to be in. And if you've been doing some research before coming to listen to our webinar this morning or this afternoon, you will probably know about our tax advantages here in New Hampshire. No general sales tax, no personal income tax, no capital gains. We're one of the top ranked New England in the New England state and third lowest tax burden in the country. So if you're a planner, you probably already know that. This is just a summary of some of our pricing, and if you're interested in getting more specific, please feel free to reach out or ask your sales counselor for a full price sheet. But this gives you an idea. It's a wide range from studio apartments ranging in square footage to just over 550 square feet to almost 600 square feet. And then cottages all the way from 1,800 square feet to over 2,300 square feet. If you're looking at the entrance fees, the first person entrance fee is always based on the size of the apartment. And then if there is a couple, you would add $64,000 as a second person entrance fee. And then monthly services fees range from anywhere from over $3,000 a month for studios to over just under $10,000 a month for cottages. If you're sitting there wondering whether we would be a good financial fit for you, we do have a tool located on our website. So before you even reach out to us, if you wanted to look into this first, you go right on our website. The tool is very secure. It's called Money Gauge. It's fast. It takes only a few minutes, and it gives you a range of what you could afford here. And if you wanted to know exactly what you can afford here, you would fill out our confidential data profile and be financially qualified officially. But this gives you a good idea of what you can expect.
And for those of you who are savvy enough to take a picture of that QR code there, that will take you right to the tool.
Thank you, Lisa. So now that you've heard what I've had to say and you think you might be getting close to joining our wait list, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa to give you some information on that.
Great. Thanks, Chrissy. So you're looking here at a group of very enthusiastic bocce players at our Woods campus. We have bocce courts at both the Woods campus and the Ridge campus. At the Woods campus, they have a dress code that requires striped socks. So you can see they have a lot of fun with this activity. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the waitlist process because yes, we do have a wait list here at RiverWoods Exeter. Our estimated wait time ranges anywhere from 3 years to 8 years for most of our apartments and cottage styles. There's a few styles that'll be on the longer end, beyond 8 years. But generally, the larger residence you want, the longer the wait time will be. If you were interested in joining the wait list, you would fill out a confidential data profile. which would determine your financial qualification. And once you were qualified, you would put down a deposit that would be equal to 10% of the entry fee for the costliest apartment or cottage that you're qualified for and that you want to be listed for. That deposit is applied to your entry fee when you move in. The deposit will earn, if you move into the community, 4% simple interest. If you decide to leave the wait list, we do refund all of your deposit except for $1,500. And rather than the 4% interest, you would earn 0.25% interest. It's a super flexible process to be on the RiverWoods Exeter wait list. If you've talked to other communities, they probably have a different process than we do. I know some communities keep what they call a ready list. We don't keep a ready list. You tell us when you're ready. If Chrissy and I are to call you before you feel like you're ready, there's no penalty for saying no at that point in time. So we really work with you to try to manage to have something available when you need it, as long as you're willing to wait for it. We'd like to now shift into some frequently asked questions, and then after that, if we haven't answered what's on your mind, we'll take a few minutes, time permitting, to answer your questions. I do see some in the queue. We're going to answer some of those probably now. So, Chrissy, would you like to start with this first one?
Sure. The first question is, if I have a long-term care insurance policy, can I use this at RiverWoods Exeter? So as Lisa mentioned earlier in the program, we are considered long-term care insurance because you know what your costs will be as you transition into the different levels of care. However, if you already have a policy and you do not want to give it up, um, you can file claims with your provider to get reimbursed per the terms of your policy. Usually that means you can't be reimbursed until you go into perhaps assisted living or nursing care, or if you decide to bring in some in-home health care, you can probably use your long-term care policy to reimburse you.
Great. The next question, and this has been queued up in our Q&A box. What happens if one partner in a couple needs a higher level of care? In those instances, we would give that partner an option of moving to an assisted living or enhanced assisted living residence, while the healthier partner may remain in independent living. The monthly fee stays the same, even though you're actually occupying two different apartments. The only incremental fee would be for the person who moves over into assisted living or enhanced assisted living would receive 2 more meals a day.
The next question, what if I'm not ready to move when you call me about an apartment? Do I go to the bottom of the list? So we're just repeating this. I know Lisa just went over it, but when your name is on the wait list and we call you and ask if you're ready for an apartment when one comes available, and you tell us no over the phone, that's fine. We move on to the next person on the list. There's no penalty to you. If you do say you're interested at that time, that's when we conduct a final financial evaluation and a medical qualification with our nurse practitioner here before we show you the apartment. And once you qualify for both of those, you see the apartment, it is considered a formal offer. And in that case, you would have 3 opportunities to go through that offer process before your position would change and you'd go to the bottom of the list. And I have not seen that ever happen. But if you're getting a phone call, that's not an offer.
The next question is, how long do I have to move in once I'm offered an apartment or cottage? Our general time frame is 60 days from the time we officially offer you a residence here until the time when we would have it ready to be occupied. You do need to pay your entry fee at that point in time, as well as your monthly fees would begin. You don't have to move in, but we would be considering you as a resident and covering you by our healthcare services from that point on when you pay your entry fee and your monthly fees. Sometimes the process for refurbishing cottages may take a little bit longer than 60 days, but they never exceed 90 days. So Chrissy and I would be calling you a couple weeks ahead of this 60-day timeline. So generally you could plan on about 2.5 months between the time you'd know you had an apartment offered to you and the time you would need to pay your entry fee.
The next question, what if I'm eager to move in, but the apartment style I want has a long wait time? Can I take something smaller and move later into something larger? So we do encourage you to be patient and wait for the apartment that you really want or cottage that meets your needs, your preference. We do have an internal move policy, but it really is designed to support our residents who have a medical or a financial need to move. And we do allow single residents who are adding a second resident to move into a larger apartment or cottage. But generally, we encourage you to wait for the apartment that you know you're going to love.
Okay, and lastly, we have a question or an often asked question is about our financial stability. Some of you may have heard about communities like ours filing for bankruptcy. I think it's one major story out of New York that keeps getting recirculated, but it is cause for concern because you are paying a lot of money to move into a community like Riverwoods. So we have a 32-year history of responsible growth. And now, of course, we oversee three not-for-profit communities here in New Hampshire. The RiverWoods Exeter community has earned an excellent reputation for financial strength, and we actually have a A- rating with Fitch for our strong debt management. On our website, you will find our audited financials, I think for the past 6 or 7 years, as well as a white paper on our financial budgeting philosophy. And the website you want to go to is www.riverwoodsnh.org. So that's our parent entity, which will have all that financial information. You'll also find on the riverwoodsnh.org website a recording of our annual webinar titled Financial Risks and Rewards of Choosing a Life Plan Community. It's a webinar that we host every year with our Chief Financial Officer, Kevin Goyette. So if you're somebody who really wants to dig into some of that data and be reassured that you are investing in an organization that's going to preserve your entry fee, those are good assets to look at. All right, we are going to shift now. We have 7 minutes left to shift into some of the questions here. And Chrissy, do you want to take the first one here
Do all
uh,
units
from
have,
Dawn?
yep, done. Do all of your unit apartments and cottages have at least 1.5, 1.5 bathrooms, or do some only have one? So our one bedroom apartments, our studios, our large one bedroom apartments all have one bathroom. But once you get into our one bedroom plus den, our two bedrooms, our large two bedrooms and cottages, they would have two baths. Some of our cottages on the upstairs level, second floor level, may even have the opportunity for another half bath. So some of our cottages at our Boulders campus might have the opportunity for 2.5 baths, but anything from a one bedroom plus den to and larger would have at least 1.5 baths.
Great. A question about the size of the storage area for each apartment. It's usually located within pretty close proximity to your apartment. We call them glorified telephone booths. They're basically storage cages that would be locked, and they're about 3.5 by 4 feet by 8 feet high. You want to take the next one, Chrissy?
How is the increase in monthly fee year to year determined? So generally, I know just from our, the years we've done this, they generally will increase 3 to 5%. We take in most of the time, the increase is based on cost of living increases and the real estate market. And so they take a lot of those things into account, our expenses, we do everything in our effort to keep our budgets low. And so the increases are mostly because of the cost of living increases that everybody has.
So the next quick question is about why do both the entry fee and the monthly fee increase with housing size? I mean, this is like any real estate. You're really paying more if you have more square footage. Everyone who lives here is getting the same benefits of life care, but we have apartments ranging from, studios that are under 600 square feet up to homes that are over 2,300 square feet. So of course, there's going to be a different entry fee as well as monthly fee for living in those sizes, the disparity of sizes that we offer. Chrissy?
The next question. Can you move directly into assisted living or memory care, or do you need to move into independent living first? Our life care contract is based on the fact that you would come in living independently and then can transition into the different levels of care to the highest level if necessary. There are sometimes opportunities where we have openings for direct admission, but that's not all of the time. If we did have openings, it would not be under our life care contract. So you would come in and pay kind of the market rate for assisted living. Would pay an increase as you needed more levels of care.
Great. Question about memory unit, nature, and services. So we're not really talking a lot about that at this point. We do have memory support services. And when we build our new healthcare building, we're actually going to have a dedicated dementia care unit. But today we kind of blend residents who need that support in with our long-term care residents. Chrissy, I'll just take the next one. My daughter lives with me. So there's a question about could a daughter come live with you? The answer is we do have a minimum age of 62 for residents here. So you need to be 62 years of age to live here. You also need to be 62 years of age actually to join the wait list. So if you're under 62, it's not even an option to get on the wait list. If you're a couple and one of you is of age eligible to join, you could join yourself, and the other person could join you when they turn 62. But that is our minimum age requirement. Chrissy, you want to take the next one?
Is the average increase in annual fees generally a 3 to 5%? We try to keep it about under 5%. Last year it was 3.75. The year before it was 3.25. But we do have a historical chart on that if you were interested.
We have a question about the differences between RiverWoods Exeter and RiverWoods Durham. I mean, RiverWoods Exeter is obviously a larger community. We all offer pretty similar amenities. You'll just find more of them at RiverWoods Exeter, including, I guess, one difference would be the pools. So RiverWoods Durham does not have pools, whereas Exeter has 3 pools. But they're both beautiful communities. People love one and more than the other, and vice versa. So it all depends. One of the differences might be wait times, in that Durham has a little bit shorter wait times than Exeter does.
The next question is, I'm a vet and use the VA as I go to my medical support. Our campus service shuttle will take people to medical appointments to a 25-mile radius. So if that is close enough for you, you would get access to that. Of course, as an independent resident, you can certainly drive yourself there. But if you eventually need assistance, as long as it's within a 25-mile radius, our campus service shuttle will take you there.
Great. We have a question about, how can you come for a visit? Chrissy and I can discuss that with you. You have passed the first requirement of coming for a tour. We always want people to attend this so that they can make sure that it's a good fit. They think it's a good fit, and then we can arrange for a visit. All of our tours are conducted on weekdays only, either mid-morning or early afternoon. You should plan on 2 to 2.5 hours for your visit, and they are all individually tailored to your needs. It sometimes is helpful if you've done our money gauge tool so that we know what apartment size you would qualify for financially, because that helps us be able to show you apartments that align with your financial situation. Um, we're over time now, so I think we're going to wrap up, and we will follow up with folks individually with the remainder of their questions. I just want to touch on this one from Ravi. The 10% deposit to get on the wait list is based on the first person entry fee. So just a couple more things I want to make sure you know about. You can go to our website for more information. We have a couple of events coming up this month that may interest you. Every year we do a downsizing event. So on Thursday, the 26th of February, we're hosting this event with a company called Dovetail, which are professional downsizers. And that is one of the biggest hurdles for people to move into RiverWoods is getting rid of their stuff so that it fits into a smaller space. So it's a great event. If you can't attend it, we do record it and put it up on our website so you could view it later. And then we also have an event on March 19th, which is our annual real estate event with Bill Weidecker from Keller Williams Real Estate. So it's a good time to kind of hear about what's happening in the New Hampshire real estate market. Perhaps you're thinking of listing your home, or you just want to kind of know what the trend is. That'd be a great event to attend. So that pretty much summarizes what we had hoped to offer today. If you have more questions, Chrissy and I can follow up with you individually, but we really appreciate your time and your attention today and hope that you'll come see us. Have a great day.